So that's the big game coming up this weekend in the Premier League. But one game just got even bigger for Ruben Amorim. That is Manchester United against Burnley. If it wasn't already a must-win, it is a major one now. Here is Ruben Amorim at his presser ahead of it.
Sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to be here for 20 years. Sometimes I love to be with my players. Sometimes I don't want to be with him. So, again, I need to improve on that. It's going to be hard. But now I'm focused in the next game. Every time that we have in the future one defeat like that, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to say sometimes I hate my players, sometimes I love my players, sometimes I want to defend my players. I think I cannot. This is my way of doing things, and I'm going to be like that.
Oh, Frank, why is he saying this?
I don't know. It makes no sense. Why did you sign if you don't know if you like your players or not, if you like your job or not, if you should stay or not to Manchester United? I mean, you just signed. Last year the excuse was, it's not my team, I can't change anything, and you're going to see next season. And after 2 days and an awful cup game, you saying that to the audience. What the fans are going to think about you. In fact, you came there just to see, and you say, well, I think I shouldn't stay. Not good enough, not good for me, bye-bye. That's insane for me.
How would you read that, Jules? What did you read into what he's saying here?
I just think this was incredible. I'd never heard anything like this. I mean, for me, Ruben Amorim is the gift that keeps on giving. I never want him to leave Manchester United. I want him to stay forever. He can stay 25 years, 30 years, and every week we will have a disastrous performance, a disastrous communication from him. Remember how many times last season we said, why are you saying those things? Why are you not thinking before talking? You want to be transparent. It's not in your favor. Why are you saying you hate your players? Why? But imagine being a player in that dressing room and the guy says that about you. This is crazy after the Grimsby defeat. And I know this was a bad night. But for him to say, oh, well, they spoke for me. What do you mean they spoke for? They were that bad. That means how bad you are. Maybe it's his English. Maybe he doesn't understand. I don't know what people at United are doing in terms of preparing him for these press conferences, or if he's just freestyling everything. But this is so detrimental to him, to this team, to his club. I find it incredible.
Freestyling, Frank, it's improv, like you actors.
No, yeah, because my English is not good, but I would be Amorim. I will try to prepare, as you said, and make sure what I say is understood by everybody, and the meaning of it is real and true. I mean, I saw Emery when he came for Paris Saint-Germain and tried to speak French. And made no sense whatsoever on anything he was saying. We couldn't understand him. That was horrible. And I said, why he doesn't speak Spanish? And I think maybe Amorim should speak Portuguese to make sure that we understand him. And maybe the truth of what he wants to say is translated in the right way. Because right now, as you said, when you say maybe sometimes I hate my player, that's a big word. Saying hating people, it's a big word, and it's why we don't understand. It's why I prefer to laugh, because you could get upset. I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm getting upset. I say, well, that guy should go. If some days he hates the players, he should go. That's not a job for him.
Stevie, remember that song, You Say It Best When You Say Nothing at All? You're just shaking your head through everything that you just saw there.
I'm sitting here thinking, 20-something years ago, I was a coach of a USL team. And we went for a day of being taught and told how to deal with the press. This was a USL team. And Manchester United need to do something and get somebody in to train this guy and help this guy. Just keep your mouth. Look, I've said it 1,000 times on here. When you're in front of the journalists, the only thing you tell them is what you want them to know, right? And that shouldn't be that you hate the players or any of that nonsense. It should be short, simple, not giving them any opportunity to be able to twist things, and then you get out. 3 or 4 questions, and you get out. I don't care if you're Manchester United manager. You dictate how long you're there and how it goes, not the other way around, and then just blab, and then everybody's loving it.
A couple of things that I think are incredible and amazing about this story. Imagine the position and the job of the press officer for Manchester United, the person who brings Ruben Amorim to the press conference, sits him down, introduces him, he sits down, and you have no idea what your manager is about to say and what grenade he's about to throw. And then you're then going to have to defend him, shape the message, deflect, all those other things that press officers tend to do. So as Ruben Amorim is talking, I have to imagine the press officers in the background behind all the reporters going, that's enough, Ruben, that's it, enough, cut him off. That's one thing. The other thing I would say, and it's something that we just saw there in the graphic, anytime that you have to go back and quote and put as a marker World War II, and that's how far back it goes in terms of this record being the worst for Manchester United since back then, it's historic. So we're now in the historically bad for Manchester United. And your manager, and I'm not going to give him the pass of whether it's the language barrier or not. I will not. Because if you have a language barrier issue, then you keep everything simple, to the minimum. No explanations, very straightforward, very down the line. Utilize all the cliches that you want, and you say nothing. Because, by the way, you can use it as your excuse. I don't really know the language, and so therefore I don't have to go into deep conversations or deep explanations. So I'll just keep it very basic, and nobody could say anything. Instead, he goes into, I'm going to show you how much I know. I'm going to show you how thoughtful I am. I'm going to show you how tricky I am about things. And he ends up getting tying himself into knots and stressing out the poor press officer. And
yet, even with all our guys saying this, they are all going for a Manchester United win against Burnley.
Yeah, we are.
At the prediction.
To do with bottling up Man United.
Well, and that's also, Jules, because they have to win this game. There's an international break coming up after it. What happens if they don't?
Well, the pressure is already massive on Ruben Amorim. I think he's getting bigger, and not just the Grimsby defeat. That was a bad defeat, obviously, for many reasons that we spoke enough about on the show. But the fact that internally now things are turning for him, players, staff members that are not his people who are there at the club, at the training ground as well, his stubbornness, the communication that we is very irritating. If you are in a you've paid his release clause, by the way, it cost you a fortune to him, you've invariably him, and that's what you get back.
Yeah, it looks like we may have lost Jules.
That's the Manchester United press officer.
Can you pick up where he may have left off?
Do you know, at the end of the day, it seems like at Manchester United, nobody can do the job properly. The players can't do the job, the manager can't do the job, the press officer can't do his job, Sir Jim Ratcliffe can't do his job. It seems like nobody in that building, whether it's the training ground, up the stairs, on the field, they can't do the job.
But they will do the job on Saturday. They will do the job on Saturday.
Somebody's going to have to do the job on Saturday.
Maybe.
Jules is back as well, and we can get him to finish his thoughts. Yes,
all right.
There we go. Talk to us, Jules.
No, I just wanted to say,
Maybe.
Yeah, even from an ownership point of view, this is terrible. But the boys are right. Usually they come back and win this game. They're not going to win again for a few weeks. But Burnley at home, but if they don't win this one, I think the sack will get closer for him.
Oh dear. Okay, well, we will be talking about this game that's coming up in the Premier League. Here's a look at what we do have to talk about this weekend in the top flight. Oh, it's on Manchester United's upcoming schedule, in fact.
Oh,
yes.
Man City,
this is very
Chelsea.
tough. So there is, of course, the international break after Burnley, but then it really does get tough because then they're away to Manchester City. They've got to take on Chelsea as well, those back-to-back games there. And it's Brentford and then it's Sunderland. What do you think when you look at that, Frank?
It's what I feel. It's gonna be hard, you know, and it's gonna be tricky. Well, You know what? After I would be in the dressing room, I would be one of the players. I would be one of the leader. I will try to see all the players. Say, you know what? We have somebody who doesn't know what to say, and as we can see, doesn't know what to do. Can we react just for us, just for the dressing room, for the club, and for the fans, and fight and show to that guy that he's absolutely wrong, doesn't know what to do, but we don't work for him. We don't work for him. We work for ourselves, for the club, and after maybe for the fans. But I think if they win against Burnley, which is absolutely necessary, otherwise I think Ruben Amorim is gone. Maybe you can see after against City in a derby that it's possible to do something fantastic. And then after Chelsea, you never know. But Manchester United has to go back to their basics. What made Manchester United being one of the best clubs, if not the best club in the world? When I played against Manchester United, most players were coming from the club, were coming from the academy. Didn't come from, I don't know, elsewhere, except some big stars like Eric Cantona, for example. But otherwise, the essence of Manchester United is to go back to their basics. Otherwise, they're not going to go back to who they were before. Or there is another possibility. Lose against Burnley, Robert Amorim is gone, you get another coach, but I'm not sure it's going to solve the problem.
Oh, those next 5 fixtures, Stevie, what do you think is going to happen to him if they don't go his way?
Oh, he's done. If he gets beat against Burnley, he's done. And he actually should be done, let's be honest. Ever since Ruben Amorim walked through the door to Manchester United, nothing, absolutely zero, is better. Nothing. There's not one thing you can turn round and say is better about Manchester United since Ruben Amorim came in. And he complained because he didn't have a pre-season. Well, he didn't have a pre-season. He got his pre-season this year, and there's nothing changed. They're arguably worse than they finished last season. So, right now, it really doesn't matter who Man United play. There's a possibility they're going to get beat.
But they were good in the preseason, Stevie.